I would like to request a volunteer. Please raise your hand only if you are a lovely singer in possession of your own voice. Please raise your hand only if your hand is actually a sunflower. Some materials will be supplied, but others you should bring from home. You must have a home you can bring things from. I need help reconstructing these crayons that broke in half after she told me what I kept drawing wasn't right enough. I have a thing for dinosaurs and lunar cities. I was trapped in a mythical past. I was imagining an improbable future. I need you to bring me a really long saw, because I'm going to put you in this box and prove that I understand the finality of separation. You're going to need to bring some replacement parts for the parts of you damaged in this performance. I'm going to cover you with a sheet, and when you disappear, you will need to yell frantically, indicating to the congregation that you are disappearing. Can you yell frantically? I may need to say I am in love with you, but trust me, this is only temporary. When I snap my fingers, you'll wake up and forget all of this. That's called demonstrated melancholy. And it's dedicated to Cam Neely. This is called Dangerous Intersection. It's dedicated to Ray Bork. You wear your shoes like you're some kind of professional, and I've seen the way your car moves by having all four wheels spin at once. That's totally ingenious. It's as if time is a clock running through minutes faster than hours, as if the past was something that just happened yesterday, and the future will be something like a tin saucer landing in your front yard. Unfortunately, 10 out of 15 futures don't ever come true. I feel the breeze of your passage. That tree looks greener than it ever has before. Car horns are temporarily silenced, but if insisted upon, they buzz. I can smell the blue of the sky, feel its raking fingers across the face of such a nice day, but I don't think I am or could ever be exuberant enough. Someone I didn't even know died today. To be honest, I've seen people wearing shoes in a more professional manner than you could ever dream of. I was only trying to flatter you, to put you off your guard. I was trying to win your heart, but I don't think I've been successful. What is the opposite of heart? Maybe I've won that. I know I could ascertain the truth if I searched in the opposite location. I realize what I'm saying makes no sense, but I'm saying it. I'm as troubled by my tone as you are. I'm not sure if I take myself seriously. One thing is certain, I am not one of those stop signs you speed through. I am a dangerous intersection. You should use caution when approaching me. The jittery hummingbirds of extreme hopefulness shake their wings right off. My wings have long since shaken off. Nate is an ineffectual hunter, the tribe will say, when I return to the cave empty-handed, wingless and crazy with loss. I will spend many nights contemplating why I never bought a planner and got organized. Once I have a plan, I know the flowers will sing in the loud sunlight, and what they sing will sound so right it won't matter if it is. Okay. This poem is called Not Blocking the Exploding. It was in a journal called Open Letters, run by a guy here in town. This poem is for Andy Moog. Tuesday clouds, this hectic splatter, distorts the calendar's faith in progression, its suspicion of narrative. There's just this one thing plunked down, weighty and here, after the last next thing burned off in the mist. I say your name out loud in the blue, in a field of fields, in my own voice. I keep going. I teach myself to control the forward fall. I, stunning beauty in the face of this unraveling. Sometimes there's a breath in the trees that crowd the lake shore, and sometimes there's a break in the me I've sketched on the surface of the churning waters, and sunlight pours through the canopy, those brittle leaves not blocking the exploding light. Sometimes writing this poem means I'm losing the next one. I file a letter of acceptance. I eviscerate the memory. I stumbling leaf free fall in November Syracuse cold. Before clouds, a sun. And from that sun, the dawn spilled everywhere, and my backyard could not contain it, just as I could not contain my backyard, just as I could not contain that bird, and that bird could not contain me, because I would crush that bird if I could. Pluck it right out of the sky's big azure eye and squeeze until it was nothing but history in my hands. All that frazzled flight blown off, a note referring me back to the before that moment when I saw something here beneath low flying that was so much not me. I reached out and held. Before Monday, Sunday. And before Sunday, a whole recitation of disappeared ephemera, gone as I outlived it. I lived it, and I lived it, and I lived it up. Sometimes, where do we find ourselves isn't a question, so much as it is a heart lifted high into the haze above our heads, as in, look at this, and you tell me where I am, and do you know where it is I should be? It's Monday, so this is my time to blow up like a fist while the sunlight holds back and casts judgment like shadows on the scene. All day I've been watching these trees, waiting for their arms to fall, and all day I'm in awe of their dumb persistence, so sure that if they hold something up high enough, long enough, it will be noticed. Sometimes I drop brightness from my branches and can only watch the fall, and can only pretend there's an answer to get. Sometimes I wooden trunk uprooted. Really ridiculous, but thank you. This was published in a journal called Apt, run by a couple of swanky people. It's called The End Was a Total Surprise to Me. It's dedicated to Don Sweeney. Today's newspaper gives names to those 5 sad puppets who couldn't hold their stuffing in as their plush and colorful bodies ejected from cars in the shattered dark. There was a stilly hush as hands were retracted from openings. There were icicles glinting in sunlight as the animating principal sped. I snored or growled during the opera, was labeled rude by well-dressed persons. I slumbered as their voices sang their pain in gorgeous syllables, but I refused to be implicated in the droning. I proclaim allegiance to this fragmentary grenade smuggled in my chest. There's a shining warmth I need to ingest. The newspaper turns me into a lake, 2 spillway devices implanted in my face where the runoff water leaks. In my dream, the driveway was lined with tulips, flashlight landing pedals for the luminous aircraft. In my life, it's November cold, and I wake up every day without you. In my dream tonight, I'll plant tulips inside your body, blow on them gently until their fire takes root, their blooming can fight my way to you. After takeoff, I'll crash back to the right planet by tracking the lovely scents. You flower pot, you, is the archaic and silly endearment I enunciate as my gossamer wings drift me gently into a new tomorrow. Today's newspaper tells me today is ending for billions of people, hands stretched to the sky to hold up the clouds as they plummet, no more news from the front. The pain I'm feeling is theatrical, the blood I'm bleeding is fake, the self I'm selfing burns like a lollipop held up to the sun, not melting, though that would be the graceful thing to do, honest dissolution, black and white, newsprint, but I'm just here getting brighter.